the scene through glass. Welcome to the Wilson Collection in Florida. I could spend 6 days in here with a BBC documentary crew and still not, I just wouldn't be able to summarize everything that's going on. But anyway, luckily, the owner of the collection, Larry Wilson, has agreed to give me a walking tour, talking me through each and every car. So this is not going to be a quick video, but I don't think it matters. So sit back, make yourself a tea or coffee, get some popcorn, and enjoy what I truly believe is potentially the rarest car collection in the world.
We have 4 major rooms in the collection. This room houses German cars on one side, British on the other. We have another room for American cars, another room for Italian cars, and then a workshop. Okay, nice. And so we'll start with the German cars. And Mercedes, this is a 6.3 Mercedes, which was the fastest four-door sedan in its era. It's got the V8 engine out of the 6.3 stretch limousine, the Admiral limousine, in a 300 body. And this is a 72 280 SE. This is the last of the hand-built Mercedes. This is a 1957 190 SL, which was built by Mercedes from 55 to 63, this model. And the interesting thing about it is the engine was designed by Ferdinand Porsche in 1924 when he worked at Mercedes. And they pulled out the blueprints when they started to build this car because they needed a 4-cylinder engine. They thought that was appropriate. And so they put it in production for the 55 models and stayed in production until 63. This is an Audi R8. And what I like about this car, it's got a speed manual transmission, which they now no longer make because they can't pass the emissions and fuel mileage requirements with the manual. Computer shifts so much better, more efficiently than a human. The majority of the cars in the 1967 first year that the car sold in America put restrictions about smog and other things. But we have no cars from 1974 to 1992 because 1974 was the first year the U.S. government, car manufacturers, a great deal of things about the car in terms of specifications, the fuel emissions, the safety requirements of 5-mile-an-hour bumpers. So they had to have rubber bumpers. So in my opinion, it's almost 20 years for the car manufacturers, Porsche and others, to be able to catch up with all the safety and emissions requirements and really focus on performance again. And then these are all Porsches. These are all 911s along this road. This is 4 RSR, and we're racing it. We're converting it back to a street car because the racing for these cars is going away. Sure. And so it's in a period which it's not really old enough to be a vintage racer, but it's too new to be against the water-cooled cars. This is a 73 RSR Porsche, which we raced for many, many years, 20 years. We're now in the process of converting it back to street use. It's just the value of the race, and I enjoy driving on the street, so we're finishing up the conversion to it.
It's amazing, isn't it, how this sort of changed the car scene, the car market so much.
It has, yeah. This is a 70 RS, the street version of this car, which is the race car, and it's a fabulous car. I enjoy driving that. This is one of 33 72 STs, 911 ST. This particular car, these were primarily for racing before NASCAR and rallying. This happens to be a rally car, and it's got all the rally equipment in it. This is a car we built out of a 67 911 Targa, and I love the Porsche 550 Spider. See one here, and I thought the Porsche should have built a 911 Spider. They didn't, so we did. And so the lids, doors are fiberglass and done as a 911R would have been. It was done with very lightweight components and a hopper engine. And we built a fiberglass dash that rolled like the Spider-type seats and doors, no door handles, lightweight lids, and so it's our '67 version of the 55 550 Spider.
I can't let you skip past the thing above
Here,
it.
yes. This is 1967 910. 910 was a limited production of them, a race car. It was a follow-on to the 906 in '66, and this car raced in Europe. It was a factory race car originally, and it was sold to some customers, and I found in California and brought it back, and its handling is outstanding, so very well balanced.
And arguably very good looking as well.
Yes.
In my opinion.
You're going to laugh at old you by the time you're done watching this video. Guys, there's a lot of business models.
And then a 5 Spider that was originally sold in spring. We were able to, it went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I was able to buy it from the owner there, but it needed a major restoration. So we took it completely apart, rebuilt the engine, built all aspects of it, like factory original components. This is a 1958 Porsche Speedster Carrera. This is a '59 GSGT, which was an A-Series car, but Ford stopped building A-Series. Some of these were racing in America and had the cam engine. This is a 108 horsepower engine. This version of the 804 Grand Prix race car that Dan Gurney and those were 1962 for Porsche. The only year Porsche participated in Grand Prix, and they won one Grand Prix. Dan won the French Grand Prix. They came close to winning at Nürburgring, but had a problem. But it was the time Porsche participated in Grand Prix, and the original car looked exactly like this. We spent close to 8 years building the car to get it very specific. And there were 3 of them built for racing, which are in museums, and I've seen 2 of the 3. And one of them is in a private collection. And then the 4th one is in the Porsche Museum. It was built after the race season, so Porsche would have one to display at their factory. This is a '53 C-Type Jaguar. This car was quick, but this car would do 185 on Wilson Street, the D-Jaguar. And the difference was, it was the first car designed in a wind tunnel, and so the lines had some British aviation engineers design was the most efficient design that we can have in a wind tunnel. The other thing that's unique on this car, it's a monocoque frame. It was the first race car. It was a monocoque frame, body on frame. And we'll continue on down here with some additional Jaguars. This is a 1961 Mark II Jaguar. Being from London, you may know this, but it was the bank robbers.
It's very
in the '60s, the police didn't have cars fast enough. They finally got the budget to be able to buy some of these. This is a '67 BT29, only 2 car, and it raced in Europe and then was shipped here to West Palm and sold here and raced in America. And I bought it maybe 20 years ago, and I raced it a bit, and it's one of the races.
It's amazing. Beautiful. Now, this actually, I have a soft spot for this because I've always loved Austin Healey shape. I don't know what it is.
Yep. Well, this is an unusual Austin Healey. This is a 100S, which is built in 1955. They only built 50 of them. Wow. And the S stood for Sebring. They brought 3 of them to the dealer in West Palm Beach. To the Sebring race, and others also came to this model. But this model is the car with 4-wheel disc brakes, and the body's aluminum. So very lightweight. Everything is aluminum on the body. And Harry Westlake, a brilliant designer in the UK, redesigned a head for the Austin Healey 4-cylinder engine in '55. And so the head makes a big difference. It's got very large rubber carburetors on the opposite side of what they're normally on, and an aluminum head with very big valves and ports. And this particular engine puts out 196 horsepower.
Yeah.
And the stock Austin Healey Ford at that time put out 90 horsepower.
So quite a substantial difference.
It's a race engine, very powerful. And
Are they fun to drive? Like, what is the Does it feel overpowered at all? Or
no, if you want to drive it, you can drive it.
I don't know. I think it's a stunning looking thing.
Yeah, you have to drive. This room
This is my favorite room.
is in cars, except for we have one Datsun 240. So we have a good job. But we'll start now. These are all Alphas. This is an Alfa Duetta, the boat tail Alfa. This is a GT 67 GA. We have an Alfa TZ we'll see that in the back. It's being worked on now. Okay. But that's the front lid for it. But,
Beautiful.
The TZ was built in '64. They made about 3 of them. This is an Alfa Sprint, 1962 Veloce. This is a car we're restoring. It's a 1959 Alfa Romeo Zagato. That's what Zagato designed the body for. And so that's next time you come. It should be.
For sure, please.
This is a 1957 Romeo Giulietta Spider Veloce, which is a wonderful little car. There are not many of them left, but it's a wonderful driving car. These are some bucks for some bodies we built. This is for the Alfa Zagato. Okay. We have to build the body on it because it was so destroyed. This is a Ferrari buck for that California Spider, which I bought in Montana about 10 years ago, and it had been left outside. It had been a race car left outside, deteriorated. We had to basically build 8% of the body over.
So the buck, you sourced the buck?
We sourced the buck.
Wow. That's an original Ferrari.
Yeah, from Pennsylvania.
Wow. Okay.
And these two Ferraris we're waiting to restore. They're in the queue. A 56 Mondial and a 58 206S. And so next time you come,
as I said, this is my room, so I'm super excited and intrigued by everything in the cars.
And this is 1963 California Spider. And, you know, I'm not sure which is the prettiest sports car ever built, either this or the A6 GCS Maserati over here. I think are the two best leading sports cars.
For sure, and I think maybe this is a bit more into popular things.
Yes, they got the rear quarter panel really right on this. So, that's so hard to do. Yeah,
it just adds that extra sort of sophistication style to it, and unbelievable to see. So, how did you come by this, for example? Because
somebody knew me, knew I liked touching cars, told me about this one that was totally decrepit on a ranch in Montana. Yeah. And
I can imagine maybe
to be rescued, so I did.
People know that you're one of those kind of things.
And this is 67 Ferrari Formula One, and we actually built this car. None survived the season, and a couple of drivers didn't survive the season. But it's a lot of fun. So we got the same horsepower, same liter, 3-liter engine as the original engine. And the body work and aluminum, everything is as original. Take it to the track and run it a good bit just for fun.
And something like this, how do you go about recreating something like that?
Because we got a lot of photographs and blew them up. We got models and put them in CAD/CAM and then blew them up 1/18 models 18 times to get dimensions, and then built molds and did a lot of research.
Yeah, I can imagine something like that must take what an incredible thing to have just lying around and be able to experience. Now this, for me, coming here, being to about what you have, was the thing that kind of blew me away. Because I love the whole idea about talk through this one.
Yeah, this one, Luigi Canetti, whose son is a friend of mine who lives in the area, was the importer of Ferraris to the U.S. He's actually the best Ferrari to build street cars because he had worked with Maserati in the and raced for Maserati, and was actually in America for the Indianapolis 500 Maserati in 1940. When the war broke out, I had to stay in America, moved to New York, and after the war, he went to Ferrari and told him that, I understand you're going to start race cars, and you'll be making a mistake if you do that, because Mazdas had done that, and they barely beat the payroll, and customer car, they've only built 20 customer cars to date. They needed to have money to be able to pay the bank their loan to be able to keep in business. And he said, what I would like you to do is build, ship them to me in New York, and I'll sell them in New York. And I think there's enough GIs coming back from Europe that appreciate sports cars that have the money that I can get them to buy the Ferrari. Very successful introducing Ferrari to America, and that's what Ferrari did. So the odd number cars were street cars, the even number cars were race cars, and up until the early 60s, I got started building some production street cars. But this is a NART Spider, which is connected to build an open top version of the 75 GTV. And Enzo was against it in 1967. He said, with all the Ralph Nader and everything going on, convertibles are not going to be popular and because of safety. And so I won't build them. And he said, well, I would like the North American racing team to do it. He said, okay, but you can't call them Ferrari. And he went to Pininfarina and got the coupes, and then took them to Scaglietti to cut the tops off and turn them into Spiders. And the final assembly came over, and he was paying, I think, about $8,000 a piece and selling them for $14,000. And the last one he built was for, one of the last ones was for Eddie Smith in Lexington, North Carolina, who had developed a mail order catalog for women's clothing, a millionaire. And he had Luigi Canetti at Sebring, and he couldn't sell the last one. So he called him up and said, I'll trade that coupe you bought me last year for $1,000 and give you a Spider. Okay. And he did. And that car sold at Monterey for $27.5 million 3 years ago. Because the original owner, only one owner, the pedigree was impeccable. But this car is what we did. We found the body when he was ordered 25. After 10, he couldn't sell them. So he said, stop. They'd already built the 11th body. And over 10 years and everything necessary to recreate, to create an 11th. So
that is effectively the 11th 275 NART.
Yeah.
Yeah, thing blown away, looks incredible.
Yeah, it's wonderful to drive.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It's hard to beat a 275 coupe, but something about that pretty impressive. And yeah, you already moved on to probably what I would say is the next most impressive thing from my side.
Yep.
But yeah, go on.
And this is a replica of the P3, P4 Ferrari from 67. And David Piper, you know, he was building some replicas, got permission from Ferrari to do that. You can see the translucent photograph that shows you the engine and what's under the body.
But you say replica, it's a kind of almost a bit of an undersell, right? Because this is, could you say, the only official Ferrari replica in a way? Because they've got that permission?
No, it's just got, yeah, he endorsed it, and you know, it's very, very true to the original. And of course, Richie Atwood, and he raced it in this configuration in Seneca at Kalama. But he sends me emails, we email back and forth a lot. He's got some great stories.